Ingredient 3. Retinol and retinoids, the slow but sure renewers. There's one ingredient that always makes me smile whenever I talk about it, because it reminds me of a strict teacher, retinol. It doesn't pamper you with comfort from the very first use. In fact, it can be a little harsh at first, causing peeling, redness, even irritation. But if you have the patience to study under this teacher, the reward is worth it. A renewed skin that's smoother, brighter, and more even. Retinol, along with its stronger cousins, retinoids, works by stimulating cell turnover. In simple terms, it speeds up the process where old, dull skin cells shed off, making way for fresher, younger ones underneath. Over time, this helps fade dark patches and stubborn melasma that may have lived on your skin for years. But here's something important I always tell my patients. This is not a race. For skin after 50, I always recommend starting low and slow, just 1 to 3%, 2 to 3 times a week. You might think that's so little, but in reality, that gentle start is the safest way for your skin to adapt. And don't forget the essential partner of retinol, moisturizer. Retinol can dry your skin, cause flaking, and yes, that's all part of the learning curve. Moisturizer is like a warm blanket that keeps your skin from feeling overwhelmed. I often tell my patients, never let retinol walk alone. It always needs a friend to soften its strictness. So when will you see results? Not in 1 week, not even in 2. Most people need 8 to 12 weeks before noticing true changes. Lighter patches, smoother skin, and a healthier glow. I remember one of my patients, Janet, age 60. She started with 2% retinol, exactly as directed. Within the first week, her skin turned red and flaky, and she almost quit. She looked at me and said, "Doctor, I don't think my skin can take this." I smiled and told her, "Janet, this is your skin learning. If you give up now, you'll never see the new chapter waiting to be written." She stayed the course, and 3 months later, she came back transformed, brighter, smoother, and most importantly, confident again. Maybe you've tried retinol before, and it felt uncomfortable. The question I want to leave you with is this: are you willing to be patient with a strict teacher in exchange for skin that's truly renewed? Think of it like planting a seed in your garden. At first, you see nothing, then maybe a tiny sprout. But if you keep watering it, one day you'll have a strong, green tree. Retinol works the same way. It's for those who believe in slow, steady growth, and for those who find retinol simply too harsh. Don't worry, there is a gentler friend waiting. Azelaic acid. Ingredient 4. Azelaic acid, the safe alternative. If retinol is like a strict teacher, azelaic acid is more like a kind, gentle friend. It doesn't push you, it doesn't overwhelm you, but it still quietly delivers results. This is the ingredient I often recommend to patients who just can't tolerate retinol, or to those who simply want something safe, reliable, and low on side effects. Azelaic acid works by slowing down melanin production, the pigment that causes dark patches. But what makes me appreciate it even more is its ability to calm inflammation. At 50 and beyond, many women don't just struggle with melasma. Some also deal with redness, sensitivity, or even rosacea. In these cases, azelaic acid feels like a cool breeze. It soothes the skin while helping dark spots fade over time. I recall a patient named Margaret, age 63. She had tried retinol, but within 2 weeks, her skin became so red and flaky that she avoided going outside. She came back to me, discouraged. "Doctor, I don't think any treatment will ever work for me." I suggested she try 10% azelaic acid just once a day, along with a simple moisturizer. 3 months later, she returned with a smile. Her skin tone was more even, and the redness that had troubled her for years had calmed down. She told me, "Doctor, I feel like my skin finally found a friend it can trust." That's the beauty of azelaic acid. It doesn't rush, it doesn't shock your skin, but it quietly improves things day by day. You can use it once or twice daily, always paired with moisturizer. Compared to retinol, it may not act as quickly, but it's safer and far gentler, something very valuable for mature, delicate skin. So the real question is, do you need strength or do you need gentleness? Some women thrive with retinol. Others find their balance with azelaic acid. What matters most isn't which ingredient is stronger. It's which one you can stay with for the long journey without giving up. The lesson here is simple. Not every road needs to be fast. Some slower roads are steadier, safer, and more sustainable. Azelaic acid is one of those paths, a calm, reliable choice for anyone seeking peace and progress in their skin journey. And soon, we'll talk about one of the most powerful but controversial treatments of all, hydroquinone, the so-called gold standard in melasma treatment, but only when guided carefully by a dermatologist. Ingredient 5, hydroquinone, the doctor's prescription. In the world of melasma treatment, there's one name that often gets called the gold standard, hydroquinone. For us dermatologists, it's a powerful weapon, but like a sharp knife. It can either cut away what's unwanted or cause injury if held the wrong way. Hydroquinone works in a very specific way. It blocks the enzyme tyrosinase, the key player in producing melanin, the pigment that creates those brown patches on your skin. Less melanin means lighter spots and a more even tone. Sounds ideal, right? But every strong medicine carries risks. If it's used too long or at the wrong strength, hydroquinone can cause ochronosis, a condition where the skin actually darkens, thickens, and becomes very difficult to treat. I've met patients who used high-concentration hydroquinone on their own for years, and sadly, the results were worse than the original melasma. Irritation, redness, peeling, these are also common when it's not guided properly. Let me share a story. Patricia, 56, came to me with deep melasma across both cheeks. Instead of experimenting on her own, she followed the plan we built together. Hydroquinone paired with a small amount of tretinoin and a restorative moisturizer. We mapped out a clear timeline. Use it for 4 months, then stop and reassess. The results were striking. Her dark patches faded significantly. Her skin tone became more even. And most importantly, she avoided complications. Smiling, she told me, "Doctor, I wish I had known about hydroquinone earlier, but I'm glad I finally used it the right way." Hydroquinone teaches us a simple but vital lesson. Strong results require medical supervision. Some things you can absolutely manage at home: vitamin C, niacinamide, lifestyle changes. But hydroquinone, this one needs a doctor's eyes to know when to use it, and just as importantly, when to stop. And maybe this is the real question you should ask yourself. Do you want quick results at any cost? Or do you want a safe and sustainable journey for your skin? Hydroquinone can deliver powerful changes, but it's not always the first step. It works best when it's part of a larger plan, guided carefully and used responsibly. The takeaway: not every strong tool is meant to be used alone. Some are only safe in the hands of a guide. Hydroquinone is one of them. Beyond ingredients, lifestyle and inner care. Many people think melasma can be solved with the right cream alone. But I often tell my patients, your skin doesn't just reflect what you put on it. It reflects how you live every single day. Take Helen, 61. She had been faithfully applying vitamin C serum every morning, but the results were modest. When I asked more, I learned she was only sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night, eating irregularly, and never exercising. I suggested small changes. Eat an orange or kiwi daily. Add a handful of walnuts to breakfast. Take a 20-minute evening walk, and try going to bed earlier. 3 months later, her face was noticeably brighter. She told me, surprised, "Doctor, it wasn't just the serum. My whole body feels stronger, and my skin is thanking me." Science agrees. Vitamins C and E are powerful antioxidants that protect against sun and free radical damage. Omega-3s in walnuts and salmon reduce dryness and inflammation, keeping skin supple. Your diet truly is an inner skincare, something no bottle of serum can replace. Then there's sleep, the underrated healer. When you get 7 to 8 hours of good rest, cortisol, the stress hormone that breaks down collagen and drives pigmentation, drops. Meanwhile, your skin slips into repair mode, fixing the small damages of the day. Have you ever noticed how much fresher your face looks after a night of real, deep sleep? That's no accident. And let's not ignore stress. Melasma isn't only from sunlight or hormones. It often grows worse under the quiet weight of emotional burdens. I once encouraged a patient to try 10 minutes of evening meditation, or even a slow walk through her neighborhood. A month later, she returned and said, "Not only does my skin feel calmer, but my heart does too." Sometimes, easing stress heals both your soul and your skin. Of course, the basics still matter. Wide-brimmed hats, sunglasses, reapplying sunscreen. Melasma is the product of decades of sun exposure. You can't change the past, but you can decide how you'll protect your skin today. So maybe it's worth asking yourself, have I truly cared for my skin from the inside out? Or have I only tried to cover it up from the outside? Whatever your answer, it's never too late to begin. The real lesson: skincare isn't just an external project, it's a lifestyle. A harmony between what you eat, how you sleep, how you handle stress. Those daily choices are what really write the story of your skin. Wrap up an empowerment message. Looking back at our journey together, the picture feels complete. 5 key ingredients, trusted by dermatology: vitamin C, niacinamide, retinol, azelaic acid, and hydroquinone. Each one is like a companion, with its own personality, strengths, and limits. Vitamin C is the bright shield, guarding against free radicals. Niacinamide is the gentle restorer, rebuilding your skin's barrier. Retinol is the strict teacher demanding patience, but rewarding with renewal. Azelaic acid is the calm friend, steady, safe, and soothing. And hydroquinone, the sharp blade, powerful, effective, but only safe with a doctor's guidance. Here's the truth. There's no miracle cream that erases melasma overnight. Skin, like life, cannot be rushed. It needs a blend of science and patience, knowledge and kindness. Quick fixes often lead to dead ends, but steady steps, small changes, day after day build lasting transformation. I think of Ellen, 67, one of my patients. She had tried everything: DIY remedies, mixed creams, even expensive products. But her skin only worsened. Together, we rebuilt a routine with patience. Vitamin C, niacinamide, lifestyle shifts in diet, sleep, sun protection. 6 months later, she told me, "Doctor, my melasma isn't completely gone, but my skin feels alive again." And I learned something. I don't need to look 31. I just want skin that thanks me today. Maybe you've stood in front of the mirror and sighed, "It's too late for me." But let me tell you, it's never too late. Melasma isn't the end of beauty. It's an invitation, a chance to treat yourself with more gentleness, to care for yourself instead of chasing impossible expectations. So where do you begin? Perhaps with something small. Apply vitamin C serum in the morning. Add a spoonful of walnuts to breakfast. Go to bed an hour earlier. These little acts, repeated daily, can create lasting change. I'll leave you with this question. If tomorrow you looked in the mirror and saw even a small change, a patch just a bit lighter, your skin just a bit brighter, would you have the patience to keep going? The final lesson is this: skincare is not a beauty project. It's an act of self-love. And after 50, that love is more precious than ever. If you've stayed with me this far, I invite you to take one small step today and share your journey in the comments, because your story might just inspire another woman to begin hers. And don't forget to subscribe so we can continue walking this path together. This isn't a race against time. It's a way of living in harmony with it.